Hello there, planner friends, and welcome back to my channel. Long time no talk. I've been really busy this fall, lots of travel, lots of projects with work, and just really haven't had a chance to film a video. But I thought that I would hop on here and share with you guys a little bit of a retrospective on what I've been doing with planners since we talked the last time. I think that was August maybe, and or it might have even been further back than that. Just share with you kind of what's been going on with my planners and what I'm going to be doing in 2024, at least what my plan is as of today. I've been enjoying looking at other people's videos where they've been talking about their 2024 plans and what they are doing, what they're not doing, and I just thought I would share my thoughts as well. So as you can see, Matilda is still very much in the picture. Today she is wearing a beautiful ochre Malden, and that's what I'm using right now. But I thought I'd back it up a little bit and talk about some of the things that I have been using since June or July, I think was the last time I did a video. So if you will recall, I think the last time we talked, I talked about being summer in my pocket, and I was in a pocket planner. I was using pocket rings, and I was also using a pocket bullet journal. So I have this, let's see, I don't want to get cords caught up here. I have this beautiful pocket Leuttchturm veg tan that I really like. It's, you know, very nice, and I was using this, I think the last time, yeah, July. I was using this in July, and you know, pocket works pretty good for me. It's a little small, but I can make it work, more so than I thought I would be able to. And like I said, if you remember the pocket summer in my pocket, this is what I used for the whole month of June and a good part of July as well. When I wasn't in the rings, I was in this cute little guy. This was a Leuttchturm A6 size, I think is what they call it, but it's really pocket size. And I basically replicated the same setup that I had in my DIY fish inserts, where I'd have the month on one side and my to-dos on the other, and then I would just do a running daily, taking as many pages as I needed. And this worked really well. I really enjoyed it. It was especially nice in the summer to just throw it in my bag and take it on the go, put a pin loop on here, and really like the flexibility. And honestly, I thought at the time that I was probably going to just stay in this for the rest of the year and just continue to, you know, try to do 2 or 3 months in a pocket Leuttchturm. I bought a hardback one, and ironically enough, I don't know whether it was my mistake or Amazon's mistake, but I ended up with 3 of the hard-sided one that I ordered. And so I thought, well, heck, this is great. I'm set for the rest of the year. And then, I don't know, I fell out of love with it. And I think it was probably the back to school, getting my youngest daughter ready to move back to college, all the logistics that went along with that. I'm not sure, but at that point, that was when I felt like pocket just wasn't working. I also had this cutie, which if you guys have been on any sort of planner social media, you recognize this notebook. This is the little 99-cent ones you can get at Walmart, and I just threw a bunch of stickers on the cover, and I started this at the end of July when this one was getting full, thinking that I would try this. And it was just literally, you know, scribble, here's a pen test, and just scribbling. You see, I jumped from the end of July to September, and in that period of time, I'll show you what I was using in just a minute. And so I was just, you know, this works really well. This is where I was planning a trip for work that I had to go on, and then I just went from there. At some point, I thought, well, maybe this will be the planner that I use, and so I tipped in, printed out my DIY fish inserts on some Tomoe River paper, tipped those in, taped them down, and thought this would be the planner that I would use. I'll be honest, I love this little notebook. I could probably quite happily use one or the other of these forever and ever, amen. This one's just a little bit bigger, and I kind of like that little extra space that you have, and I like the white paper. And the fact that it's 99 cents and I can just throw it in my bag and I don't care. The only complaint that I have about these is the complaint that I have about bullet journals, and that's the forward planning part. I like to be on the phone with somebody and make a commitment that I'm going to follow up with them next Tuesday, and flip to next Tuesday in my planner and write down follow up with Sally, you know, in my planner. When you're bullet journaling, I've not found a good way to do that when you're building the pages as you go. And so that's always been my struggle with bullet journal. I fall in love, I fall out of love. So that's why I always end up going back to my printed inserts in my ring planner, because that seems to work. So this was June and July and part of August. And then as you saw, I kind of dabbled a little bit in September. This guy stays in my purse. As of even today, to film this video, I had to take this out of my purse. I leave this in my purse all the time. And for example, when I'm out to dinner with my husband and we're talking about plans for the next week or whatever, I have those monthly pages in here, and I can just flip to them and go, well, you know, we can't do something next Friday because we got blah, blah, blah planned. So this stays current. It's bare bones. It's not decorated. It's very basic, but it does stay current. And that way I do have it. And then I'm just writing, you know, let me pull this back for privacy reasons, but you can see, you know, here's a shopping list, and here was Friday, October the 6th. So it's just, you know, yeah, here's another one, another page where this was what we were doing last weekend, and here's the grocery list of things that I needed and some meal planning. So that's one of the things I love about this notebook. And if it gets banged up, I don't care. I don't want a cover on it. I just like it just like that. I did put a pocket in the back and stuck some Post-it notes and a stick-on pen loop. And so I will use this until I run out, and I have 2 or 3 more, and I'll probably just continue to carry one in my purse. I have always had something like this in my purse. It's usually one of those little thin moleskin volant pocket notebooks, but I actually like the spiral better because you can just flip it back and write on it, and it doesn't feel precious to me either for some reason, because I guess because it's 99 cents. So anyway, that was June, July, and part of August. I also in August played around with going back into my personal rings. I also was in this A6, which is another beautiful Leuttchturm veg tan that I got. And I think the last time I was in this, well, October, looks like I used it for part of October, September and October. September was kind of just a train wreck because of traveling. And so this was set up, and I did use it. It pretty much stays set up. And wouldn't be surprised if I pull this back out at some point. But right now, the personal rings is really speaking to me. I think if I had to rank things in terms of, you know, what I love the most about these, this would be nice in terms of portability, closest to size to the personal. But because it's square, it's not as portable to me, and the way it feels in your hand is a little heavier than the personal size, because the personal is more vertical. It just feels more comfortable to hold. And like I said, I love this little guy. These two, you know, I like them pretty well. I really enjoyed using this pocket Leuttchturm. So yeah, this still in rotation, probably will stay in rotation. These guys are on the shelf. I pulled them out just for the video. So then, as I said, September was kind of a train wreck. I was traveling for work, and we had personal travel on each end of the trip. So it was a week-long work trip, and I took my mom and my husband with me, and we traveled the weekend before and the weekend after. And so that took up almost 12 days of September. Planning for the trip and the conference pretty much occupied every moment before, and then afterwards I got sick, and I really didn't want to do anything other than just feel better. So a couple of weeks there towards the end of September, I was just in survival mode and didn't do a whole lot of planning. Then came October, and that's when I pulled out Matilda again. And the other thing that I pulled out, and if you've seen my social, my Instagram, this is probably not a surprise to you, but I also pulled this guy out. So this is my Jibun Techo. It's an A5 Slim, and I love it. I really love it. And these two together make great companions, in my opinion. This one I've been using as a planner, but also kind of as a memory keeper, and have really been enjoying it. And I really would like to do a dedicated video just to talking about how I use my Jibun Techo. But you can see here I've got the beautiful thing about their covers is there's lots of pockets. So I've got all the pockets filled up. I've got a couple extra pockets in here with some other things. And then I'll just show you a couple of pages. So here's, here, this is August. And you can see, I mean, this is not pretty planning. This is just, you know, down and dirty, ugly planning. I even stick stickers and pictures, and I've really been enjoying using this planner a lot. And I will finish the year out. This is actually a spring start. It runs from, I think it was April. Yeah, April until next March. But I am going to finish the year out in this and using this. So the way I'm currently doing things, and Matilda has the usual. This is my DIY fish inserts that I love and use. There's nothing new or different about this. This is the same old setup you're used to seeing in my planner. If you guys are interested, I'm happy to do another more detailed flip since it's been quite a while since I've done one. But my plan to finish out the calendar year is to use these two together. And what I do is I use Matilda for my day-to-day planning. I do a little bit of journaling at the end of the day. So these pages, I shouldn't have closed this. These pages are blank. And so what I usually do is I have my appointments at the top, my to-do list, and then the middle of the page is for journaling. And then down at the bottom, I'll write down what I had for dinner and what I watched on TV, if I watched any TV or a book that I read or, you know, anything like that. And I do this, I set it up the night before. So like tonight, I'll sit in bed and I'll write up the plan for Friday at the top of the page. And then Friday night, I'll do the journaling, kind of retrospective, what happened in the day. If I make any phone calls or anything during the day, of course, all that gets written here as well. And then down here, I'll notate, you know, books read, food, all that kind of stuff at the bottom of the page. This becomes kind of the running log, almost like a bullet journal, the running daily log. Then what I have been doing is in the Jibun Techo, I put this stuff in here. And sometimes I do it every night when I'm doing my journaling. Sometimes I'll wait 2 or 3 days. And this is just kind of the record keeping. So one of the things that I love about bound books, and I think a lot of you would agree with me, is the historical record keeping. You know, you've got the whole year in a book. You can put it on the shelf and everything's in one place. When you've got rings, you have to decant the pages out, put them into some other type of binder or some other way of storing, which I'll make a note up here as to how I do that, because I do have a video talking about that. But I find that I don't always go back and look at these very much, but when it's in a bound book, I do. So that's the appeal of this to me. And now that I'm adding things like pictures and stuff like that, this becomes even more precious to me in terms of a keepsake. So that's what I'll be doing for the rest of 2023, and that's what I'll be doing for 2024. The plan is right now that I will use these in the exact same way. So I'll have my personal rings for kind of the workhorse of planning. And then I'll use this for, I call it my side piece. It's kind of like the girlfriend on the side. You know, you love her and you can't let her go, but you don't really need her. That's what this is. But I do. I love it too much. So I'm going to continue to use it. I have not decided yet if I'm going to do a B6 or an A5. I actually ordered both. I'll talk about that in another video. But this is the plan for next year. And then the only other thing that I'll be adding to it is a Hobonichi English A6. This is actually 2023 that I barely used at all. You can see mostly blank pages. But my plan is to use this as a journal. I used a cousin this year. Let me see if I can find it. And this probably could be its own video as well. But I have a cousin that I've been using as a kind of a journal, a memory keeper, a scrapbook, and just really have been enjoying it. But you can see there's a lot of blank pages in here. This was just a lot to keep up with. I think if I had made it a discipline of doing it every day or every Saturday or something like that, catching it up, it probably would have worked a lot better for me. The other thing about the Cousin is it starts to chunk up when you start to put, oh, there you go, can't see it. And it's really probably not as chunky as some people's, but I'm not finished yet. I still got a lot to do in here. And when you start to get to the back, it gets hard to write in when you've got all of that chunk. You know, it's uneven. So you can see I've printed pictures and stuck them in here so that I would remember the stories that I want to tell on these pages. I just need to sit down and do it. What my plan is to do that over the Christmas break, to try to catch this up and finish this up over the Christmas break. I don't know if any of you were scrapbookers back when scrapbooking was popular, but that's what I think of this is. This is my scrapbook. And one of the things that I used to do when I was scrapbooking was there would be Saturdays where I would just decide that was going to be the day that I was going to scrapbook, or I would go out of town with girlfriends and we'd rent a cabin and we'd just scrapbook all weekend and I would catch up. That's what I need to do with my Hobonichi Cousin and to get it caught up. But what I realized in doing that is it's just a lot to try to manage the size of the book and the weekly and the daily. And if I've got the weekly retro in here, then all I really need is the daily. So my plan for next year is to do my journaling in English and English Cousin. And I've done this in years past and it worked out really well. And the way that it works best for me is if I put this on my nightstand and then it's just there when I go up in the evening and I can write, you know, a few sentences about the day. So this is the planner stack for next year. I've got Matilda, trusty sidekick. I've got my girlfriend that's my side piece over here that's going to be, you know, something fun that I can decorate with stickers and have for a memory keeper, so to speak. And then I'll have my journal that will be my Hobonichi A6. So that's the plan right now for the rest of the year and for next year. I would be very curious to know, have you kind of settled on what you're doing for next year? Do you feel, I see this trend right now where I feel like people are wanting to simplify and pare down what they're doing. I know I feel that way, and I feel like this year, 2023, I intended to not be all over the place, but I ended up being all over the place. It was personal rings, it was A6 rings, it was pocket rings, it was a pocket bullet journal, excuse me. And I just feel like I got distracted this summer. I was doing really good in the winter, got distracted in the spring and summer, and I'm trying to kind of draw back into what I know works. I know I always end up back in my pocket, my personal rings. I know this is home for me. So I'm trying to stay true to that. And then still at the same time have some outlet for creativity and fun. So yeah, tell me about what you are planning for 2024. If you learned any lessons about your planning, things that work and things that don't work for you in 2023. And if you would be interested in seeing a flip through in more detail and a discussion about how I use the Jibun Techo as a planner and the power of this little book, because it is a very powerful little book. Truthfully, I could probably do with nothing but this, and there have been several weeks since September that this really was all I had. I carried this and Matilda sat on the desk next to me, but this was what I was using every day. So I'd love to talk with you about that. If that's something that you're interested in, let me know. And yeah, I hope you are all doing well. I will talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.